Legislature. This part of the meeting is the presentation portion of the meeting that we recognize those folks or businesses that have done fantastic or extraordinary things from months before. And the first one up was going to be P49017, resolution passed the month of November. Resolution commending Famous Lunch upon the occasion of their 85th anniversary. Presentation by Legislator Pavlik in the minority.
Famous Lunch family, do you want to come down? Come on down. You get a place of honor over here. How are you? You can come over here. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. How are you? How are you? Thanks for coming. How you doing?
Great.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it very much. Whereas a community is only as great as its members who provide exemplary leadership and service, and who, through personal and professional dedication, contribute to the fabric and climate of Rensselaer County, and whereas, attendant to such duty and fully in accord with its long-standing traditions, it is the intent of this legislative body to convey its compliments to Famous Lunch upon the occasion of their 85th anniversary. Pretty amazing. And whereas in 1932, Quick Lunch opened its doors at 111 Congress Street in downtown Troy, serving small 3-inch hot dogs with all its trimmings, of course. And whereas Famous Lunch was co-owned by brothers Steve and Nicholas Vasiliadis, did I get that right? And to this day remains in the family with son Scott running the business. Whereas in 1958, 20-year-old Corporal Gordon Gundrum, a local Marine stationed at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, needed his fix of Troy hot dogs. So a package with several dozen hot dogs was shipped via air to Moscow, where they were served for lunch to Corporal Gundrum and the U.S. Ambassador on the occasion of his 54th birthday. And whereas this event became known as Operation Hot Dogs and was covered by local and national newspapers, Quick Lunch became, quote-unquote, world famous and changed its name to Famous Lunch. And whereas today, 85 years later, pretty amazing, Famous Lunch still ships its 3-inch long, locally made hot dogs throughout the United States and around the world to satisfy people's cravings for the famous hot dogs. Now and therefore be resolved that in accordance with the tradition of this legislative body to recognize those individuals whose superior achievements have contributed to the vitality of this community, we hereby extend grateful appreciation to Famous Lunch. Let me tell you personally, I can't tell you how much I appreciate those hot dogs all the time. So thank you. On behalf of the community, thank you very much. We really appreciate all your service to the community and helping to build the fabric of Troy and Rensselaer County. Thank you. Thank you. Like to say something, or any other legislator like to say anything? It's up to you. Come on.
I just want to thank everybody here for the recognition. Sometimes it may be challenging to keep going, and hopefully we'll be here for the next milestone at the 100. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you to Famous Lunch. We also have on our agenda tonight is Resolution P49617, resolution honoring Albert R. Lewis, as Rensselaer County Citizens of the Month. We haven't passed it yet, so I'm just going to do a voice vote right now, if that's okay, the clerk. All those in favor of naming Al Lewis Rensselaer County Citizen of the Month signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
16.
A presentation we have by Legislator Tessman. I believe Kathy Jimino, our county executive, is here as well to honor Al Lewis. And family, please come down to the well and join the Citizen of the Month, Al Lewis.
Over here, Al.
Pleasure. We know how much Al Lewis loves these sort of things, right, Al?
Helby?
Well, we certainly would, appreciate the fact that you and your family came to join us tonight, because as awkward as this may be, it gives people people who have been touched by your motivation, exceptional, accountability, and long endurance of just incredible achievements in our community. It gives us a chance to say thank you, and I am proud to be able to lead that charge tonight. We have Resolution P-49617, which is a resolution honoring Albert R. Lewis as Rensselaer County Citizen of the Month, and it reads as this. This resolution was filed with the Rensselaer County Legislature by the Rensselaer County Executive, and the Rensselaer County would not be the great place it is today without the great people who day to day are making a difference in our communities. And whereas it is consistent with the duty of this legislative body and the Rensselaer County Executive to recognize the contributions and achievements of our citizens, we acknowledge with profound respect and admiration a man who has provided and continues to provide extraordinary and exemplary community service. And whereas Albert Al R. Lewis, having been born in Schaghticoke, New York, and was raised on a family farm in Stillwater, New York, which his family moved to in 1943. Al was married to his wife Ruth on June 27, 1959 in New Jersey. Al and Ruth live in Johnsonville and have two sons, Ray and Albie, who themselves are active in the community as owners of local businesses, with both being owners of Lewis's Tavern and Albie owning and operating Valley Paving and Contracting. Al and Ruth are also the proud grandparents of 3 and great-grandparents of 3. And whereas Al volunteered for the draft and joined the United States Army in 1955, during which time he received his high school GED while serving with the 8th Infantry Division in Germany. Al was discharged in 1957 and remained in the United States Army Reserves until 1961. And whereas, upon his discharge from the Army, Al began working at Flynn Well Drilling in Stillwater, then Wood Flong in Hoosick Falls, until ultimately gaining employment with Kilby Brothers Construction in Albany, where he worked as a truck driver for 35 years and also a member of Teamster Local 294 for 35 years and Teamster Shop Steward for 27 years, and ultimately retired from. And whereas following his service to our nation, Al dedicated himself to his family and community, serving on the Hoosick Valley School Board of Education for 5 years, as treasurer for Hoosick Valley Athletic Association for 27 years, deputy treasurer for the remaining year, and president for 1 year, treasurer for Eastern New York County MAC for 6 years, treasurer for the Wasserman Baseball League for 32 years, from 85 to 2017, commissioner for Warren League from 1996 to 2017, lifetime member of VFW Post 1938 in Valley Falls, American Legion of Stillwater Post 490, and Lansingburg Veterans Club of Lansingburg. Previous member of the Johnsonville Rescue Squad and Johnsonville Fire Department. And Mr. Lewis has been honored for his dedicated service, including by Earl J. Manning Post 490 Memorial Day Parade, having been named as a Grand Marshal for their parade in Stillwater, where he was also named Veteran of the Year. The pavilion at the Chapco Lewis Field was built in his honor, recognizing his dedicated service to youth programs in the community. And whereas Al can always be found at Stewart's very early in the morning having a cup of coffee before breakfast and beginning his day at the ball fields or the grounds on Popular Ave in Valley Falls. Al's passion is family and friends, helping provide opportunities for the youth of the community, and baseball. Now therefore be it that the Rensselaer County Legislature and the Rensselaer County Executive do hereby declare Albert R. Lewis as Rensselaer County Citizen of the Month for November 2017, fully confident that his contributions to our community will serve as a legacy for all. I've witnessed it, firsthand experiences, from the time I was 8 years old to right now, 55 years old. The amount of time, energy, and dedication that this man puts to our community is just unbelievable, unheard of. You don't see that sort of commitment. You know, this man, we started off Little League Baseball. Al was my coach. It was the first time I met him, one of the best coaches in the league, and I think at that time there was a total of 3. We now, because of Al Lewis, and many of the community too as well, we now have a youth athletic facility in Valley Falls, which allows 500 local children to compete in both baseball, soccer, softball every year. It's just an incredible. So we went from a baseball team of 3 coaches to a youth athletic program that includes 500 children in our area. This man turned a swamp and rock bed into 4 of the nicest playing fields that we can find anywhere in our area. We have people coming. It services 500 youths in our area, but they come from all over the place. The field that this man designed and developed dries out and drains quicker than any other field in the area. We have people coming from all over this community, all over this area, to play in Chapco Lewis fields because their fields are unplayable after a heavy rain. It goes on and on and on. The connections that Al had over the years to put together small projects in that facility, you'd have to see it to believe it. What a remarkable accomplishment. And that's just youth athletics in our community. His projects and his involvement include a lot more than that. But that is by far, my firsthand experience, something that, something that I appreciate, my kids appreciate, my grandchildren soon will appreciate. It'll take 3 people to replace this man when he finally decides to retire, which won't be anytime soon. If I can help it. I'll be one of the 3. So again, would anyone else like to add to this? Kathy, I'm sure you would.
Thank you, Chad. Good evening, and I want to welcome the entire Lewis family with us this evening. As you've just heard, there is not a single person, I think, in this community that Al hasn't been there for. First of all of us, as having served in the United States military, he put his life on the line, or was prepared to put his life on the line for us. Then he came back, and in his job, not only was providing for his family, but also looking out for his fellow workers by virtue of his job with the union as the shop steward. But I think clearly his greatest legacy, as Todd has so capably reported on, is his legacy to the children in the northern end of the county in particular. And every time I am up at that field, Al is up there. And it doesn't matter what I'm up in that area for. I could just be driving through, and Al is there. I could be attending the VFW breakfast, and Al is there. We could be up there for something at the field. He's out there working, getting ready from one season to the next for all the kids to come there. And many people will participate in sports for their kids' sake. And then when their kids are done, they hand off that mantle of leadership in the organization to the next group of parents. France. Al, you've been there for probably 50 years or more, right? 47. Okay, I should have been able to do that math from what Todd was saying. He is somebody that has dedicated himself to giving every child in his community the opportunity to play sports, the opportunity to feel good about themselves, to participate in a team, to learn a whole bunch of skills that will take them throughout their life. And as we can see from Todd, he's turned out some pretty good kids. So, Al, I want to congratulate you on that. I want to thank your family, because obviously the time that you're giving to the community is time away from family. So we thank you for sharing Al with us and supporting him through all of that. But mostly, too, I want to hold out Al as an example, because we honor people in our community also, so that others will look at it and say, gee, if somebody like Al can give so much for so many years, then I can step up and make a difference for my community, too. So thanks for being the wonderful individual you are and the wonderful example. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Now, as one veteran to another, the chairman just handed me a pin, a veteran pin. I just want to make this presentation and thank you for being a veteran and serving your country. And I also want to say thank you for everything you've done for the community as your legislator. You know, with guys like this around, it makes my job a whole lot easier. And it's just amazing to find people that put the time in that these guys do, like Al does. I mean, and it's just amazing how much time you've put in volunteering to serve your community. You know, guys like us can only scratch the surface when it comes to service to their community. You have really done the job, and thank you, Al.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy and Todd. I appreciate this honor, and I don't know really what to say because, you know, I haven't been in this position before. I'd like to thank my family for being here and supporting me. I'll tell you one thing, I've enjoyed what I've done in the past years. It's been quite a ride. Back in 1971, when I came home from work, my two boys came out to my car and said, "Dad, can we play Little League?" I says, "Well, I guess so, why not?" "Well, Mom says we can't." Well, I guess you found out who won. and 47 years later, here we are. Well, thank you all for being here, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
And to end, Al will be passing out the resolution in a gross copy. And again, I just want to thank you for your commitment to your country and your community, and a true example of leadership. Thank you, Al.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you again. Merry Christmas.
Thanks again, bud.
Down at the baseball field for the first time he came from Germany as a baby. How cool.
In the bond resolution, I'm going to do a roll call.
Where did you get all the information?
Can't tell you that.
You'll remind me. Thank you for reminding me again.
Well, I just wanted to, I didn't, yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do, buddy.
Thanks again.
Take it easy.
How are you?
Gives us the opportunity.
One more thing. My wife wrote out my obituary about a month ago. And I'm not kidding you. And so I think that's where they got all the information from.
believe there's no more presentations for this evening, so we'll go right into the regular meeting of the legislature. It is that hour, so we'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Can we get Leon? Mr. Bailey? Here. Ms. Bresler? Here. Mr. Danaher? Here. Ms. Doran? Mr. Fiacco? Has stepped out for a minute.
Stepped out for a moment.
Mr. Fleming? Mr. Grimm? Here. Mr. Harrington? Present. Ms. Hoffman? Here. Mr. Loveridge? Here. Mr. Manny? Here. Mr. Pavlik? Here. Mr. Shannon? Mr. Stammel? Here. Mr. Tessman? Here. Mr. Walsh? Here. Mr. Wysocki? Here. Chairman Brunel?
Here.
There is currently 15 in the room.
I know Legislative Fiacco's in the building, but we'll recognize him when he returns. We can have invocation. Mr. Stammel, please.
Heavenly Father, help us to use moderation in everything we do. Let us never try to do more than we are able to and more than you require of us to do, but rather do your will and the will of the people we represent. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Grimm, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Harrington.
Mr. Chairman, we're going to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the special meeting of December 4th, 2017, and approve the minutes.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're losing members like...
There are 14 currently present.
Okay. Guess we'll go into the meeting agenda. Presentation of petitions.
On file.
Presentation communications.
On file.
Reports of commissions.
On file.
Departmental reports.
On file.
Reports of standing committees.
On file.
Local laws.
There are one tonight.
Okay. We should give Mr. Walsh a couple minutes here, or?
I'm just going to note for the attendance purposes that Leon is back in the room.
Yes,
That there
Legislator Fiacco is with us.
Mr. Chairman, I would note we've already passed P 496.
We have.
We could do the other Ps as extensions by the recognized legislators.
We could do that. I think to make it official, we probably better do P 496 again for P 496-17, please.
P 496-17 resolution honoring Albert R. Lewis as Rensselaer County Citizen of the Month, introduced by Chairman Brunel and the entire legislative body.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
15 ayes.
P 497-17.
P 497-17 resolution commending Honorable Stan Brunel for his distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Shannon, Danaher, Harrington, Bailey, Bresler, Fiacco, Hoffman, Loveridge, Stammel, Tessman, Walsh, Wysocki, Grimm, Manny, Doran, Fleming, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
15 ayes.
P 498-17.
P 498-17 resolution commending Honorable Alexander A. Shannon for his distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Brunel, Danaher, Harrington, Bailey, Bresler, Fiacco, Hoffman, Loveridge, Stammel, Tessman, Walsh, Wysocki, Grimm, Manny, Doran, Fleming, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
15 ayes.
P 499-17.
P 499-17 resolution commending Honorable Thomas M. Walsh Sr. for his distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Brunel, Shannon, Danaher, Harrington, Bailey, Bresler, Fiacco, Hoffman, Loveridge, Stammel, Tessman, Wysocki, Grimm, Manny, Doran, Fleming, and Pavlik.
It's right on cue. Here he comes back. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. He just voted for yourself. Good job. Thank you.
For attendance purposes, I'm going to note that Tom is back in the room.
Legislator Walsh is returned. P 500-17.
Well, P 499 is 16 ayes.
Oh, correcting the vote. P P 517, please.
P 517, resolution commending Honorable Philip J. Danaher for his distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Brunel, Shannon, Harrington, Bailey, Bresler, Fiaco, Hoffman, Leverage, Stammel, Testman, Walsh, Wysocki, Grimm, Manny, Doran, Fleming, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
P 50117.
P 50117, resolution commending Honorable Judith Bresler for her distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Brunel, Shannon, Danaher, Harrington, Bailey, Fiaco, Hoffman, Leverage, Stammel, Testman, Walsh, Wysocki, Grimm, Manny, Doran, Fleming, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
P 50217.
P 50217, resolution commending Honorable Gary Pavlik for his distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Grimm, Manny, Doran, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 50317.
G 50317, resolution amending G 36810, authorizing the O'Brien Baker Memorial Hall of Heroes to permanently be located at the Rensselaer County Office Building, introduced by legislators Brunel, Shannon, Danaher, Harrington, Bailey, Bresler, Fiaco, Hoffman, Leverage, Stammel, Testman, Wysocki, Grimm, Manny, Doran, Fleming, and Pavlik.
I just want to, before we vote, Tom, you've put an awful lot of effort into this out here, and it's a pleasure here to see you continue and want to continue on with that. It is one beautiful lobby out there. All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
P 50417.
P 50417, a resolution to increase state support for Cornell Cooperative Extension County Associations in the state of New York, introduced by legislators Brunel, Shannon, Harrington, Grimm, and Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 50517.
G 50517, resolution authorizing an agreement with the Jewish Family Services Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Testman, Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 50617.
G 50617, resolution authorizing an agreement with Unity House for the provisions of non-residential domestic violence services, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Testman, Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 50717.
G 50717, resolution amending Appendix A of the adopted 2017 Rensselaer County adopted budget, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Testman, Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 50817, please.
G 50817, resolution authorizing agreements for youth employment services and training services, Department of Employment and Training, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Stammel, and Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
14 ayes, 2 abstentions, Mrs. Bresler and Mr. Grimm.
G 50917.
G 50917, resolution authorizing a contract for court reporting, District Attorney, introduced by legislators Walsh, Testman, Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 51017.
G 51017, resolution authorizing the extension of a lease securing storage space, county attorney, or county clerk, introduced by legislators Leverage, Danaher, Pavlik, Brunel, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 51117.
G 51117, resolution authorizing a software maintenance agreement with Catalog and Commerce Solutions LLC, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 51217.
G 51217, resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into multiple agreements with Northeast Parent and Child Society, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G 51317.
G 51317, resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into a maintenance agreement with Mason Technologies, Inc., Department of Social Services, Probation, and Youth, introduced by legislators Leverage, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G514-17.
G514-17, resolution approving memorandum of agreement between the County of Rensselaer and the United Public Services Employees Union Human Resources, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Stammel, and Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G515-17.
G515-17, resolution authorizing a maintenance agreement with SI Technologies, Inc., Department of Social Services, Probation, and Youth, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G516-17.
G516-17, resolution authorizing an agreement for legal research services, Public Defender's Office, introduced by legislators Walsh, Testman, Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G517-17.
G517-17, resolution authorizing an agreement with Start Children's Center, Inc., Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G518-17.
G518-17, resolution authorizing an agreement with Start Children's Center, Inc., Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G519-17.
G519-17, resolution authorizing an agreement with Start Children's Center, Inc., Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G520-17.
G520-17, resolution authorizing the purchase of Lexipol web-based policy management and training development system, Office of the Sheriff, introduced by legislators Walsh, Testman, Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G521-17.
G521-17, resolution authorizing an agreement for billing and electronic patient record-keeping software, Department of Mental Health and Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G522-17.
G522-17, resolution authorizing an agreement for mental health services in the Averill Park School District, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G523-17.
G523-17, resolution authorizing amendments to agreements and amending the 2017 Rensselaer County adopted budget, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
15 ayes, 1 abstention, Ms. Hoffman.
G524-17.
G524-17, resolution authorizing purchases of Capital District YMCA memberships for care coordination clients, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G525-17.
G525-17, resolution authorizing an agreement for management of Section 125 Cafeteria Plan, Bureau of Human Resources, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Stammel, and Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G526-17.
G526-17, resolution authorizing an agreement for Employee Benefit Consulting, Bureau of Human Resources, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Stammel, and Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G527-17.
G527-17, resolution authorizing renewal agreements with certain healthcare providers, Bureau of Human Resources, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Stammel, and Manny.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G528-17, please.
G528-17, resolution authorizing the continuation of existing agreements with group purchasing organizations and affiliated member organizations, Van Rensselaer Manor, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G529-17.
G529-17, resolution authorizing an agreement for housekeeping and laundry management services, Van Rensselaer Manor, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G530-17.
G53017, resolution authorizing service contracts for the early intervention and preschool programs for program year 2018, Department of Health, introduced by legislators Bresler, Hoffman, and Doran.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53117.
G53117, resolution amending the 2017 adopted Rensselaer County budget, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Bresler, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53217.
G53217, resolution amending resolution number G33416, the execution of a contract for tree and stump removal highway department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Danaher, Pavlik, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53317.
G53317, resolution authorizing a contract for trash removal services for Buildings Department, Department of Aging, Senior Centers, Highway Department, and SOAR District, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Danaher, Pavlik, Brunel, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53417.
G53417, resolution authorizing an agreement for security guard services at the Van Rensselaer Manor Nursing Home, Rensselaer County Office Building, Flanagan Square Building, Rensselaer County Department of Social Services, Probation and Youth, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Danaher, Pavlik, Brunel, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53517.
G53517, resolution appointing members of the Rensselaer County Community Service Board, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Leverage, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53617.
G53617, resolution authorizing the renewal of a grant award from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services and amending the 2018 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget District Attorney, introduced by legislators Walsh, Testman, Manning.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53717 was tabled in special rules. G53817.
G53817, resolution authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible cost of a transportation federal aid project, County Route 51, Burden Lake Road, and County Route 18, Hoggs Corner Road pavement preservation, amending the 2017 Rensselaer County adopted budget and authorizing the county executive to execute supplemental agreements, number 1, for the project with the New York State Department of Transportation Highway Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Danaher, Pavlik, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
Could you repeat that?
I will in the next resolution.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G53917.
G53917, resolution authorizing an agreement for the construction inspection services relating to the Burden Lake Road, County Route 51, and Hoggs Corner Road, County Route 18, pavement preservation projects, Town of Sand Lake and Nassau Highway Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Danaher, Pavlik, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
Legislator Grimm.
Mr. Chairman, in my packet, I have in the big whereas the resolution reference that hasn't been filled. Can you note that that has been?
It has been. It has been, but thank you.
Thank you for the point of clarity. All those in favor? Opposed? All right, now my numbers get a little crazy, so bear with me. G54017.
G54017, resolution authorizing the Rensselaer County Executive to execute a construction contract for the Burden Lake Road, County Route 51, and Hoggs Corner Road, County Route 18, pavement preservation projects, Towns of Sand Lake and Nassau Highway Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Danaher, Pavlik, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G54117.
G54117, resolution authorizing payment of claim to Timothy Nugent Esquire as court-appointed Special District Attorney, County Attorney, introduced by legislators Walsh, Testman, Manning.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G54217.
G54217, resolution authorizing community program grant agreements, county executive, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Danaher, Pavlik, Brunel, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G54317.
G54317, resolution authorizing payment of expert witnesses, public defender's office, introduced by legislators Walsh, Testman, Manning.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G54417.
G54417, resolution authorizing an extension of a term period of a grant agreement with the New York State Urban Development Corporation's DBA Empire State Development County Attorney, introduced by legislators Walsh, Testman, Manning.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G54517.
G54517, resolution establishing a capital project, Cooling Towers, Hudson Valley Community College, introduced by legislators Bresler, Hoffman, and Doran.
All those in favor? Opposed?
15 ayes, 1 abstention, Mrs. Bresler.
G54617.
G54617, resolution establishing a capital project, mechanical upgrades, Hudson Valley Community College, introduced by legislators Bresler, Hoffman, and Doran.
All those in favor? Opposed?
15 ayes, 1 abstention, Mrs. Bresler.
G54717.
G54717, resolution authorizing the purchase of a new telephone system for the Rensselaer County Clinic, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Testman, and Pavlik.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G54817.
G54817, resolution authorizing the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes.
G54917. Approved by late file. Special rules.
G54917, bond resolution of the County of Rensselaer, New York, authorizing the issuance of an additional 362,000 serial bonds to finance the cost of the reconstruction and improvement of the Rensselaer County sewer system, introduced by Chairman Brunel.
This is a roll call vote, please, clerk.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Bresler?
Yes.
Mr. Danaher?
Yes.
Ms. Doran?
Aye.
Mr. Fiacco?
Aye.
Mr. Grimm?
Yes.
Mr. Harrington?
Aye.
Ms. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Loveridge?
Yes.
Mr. Manny?
Yes.
Mr. Pavlik?
Yes.
Mr. Stammel?
Aye.
Mr. Testman?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Wysocki?
Yes.
Chairman Brunel?
Yes. Thank you, Mike. The state gave us a whole 7 days to get this done. You got the letter from the 5th, and we're approving it on the 12th. That's a pretty good turnaround.
16 ayes.
G55017.
P. 55017, resolution
55017.
commending Honorable Martin Reed for his distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by Chairman Brunel.
All those in favor? Opposed?
12-4.
Okay, we have a local law that we need to address.
Local law requiring limits of contaminant 1.4 dioxin, introduced by legislators Fiacco, Bresler, and Doran. This is also a roll call vote.
Any discussion, or you can discuss per your vote? The clerk call the roll.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Bresler?
Yes.
Mr. Danaher?
Yes.
Ms. Doran?
Aye.
Mr. Fiacco?
Aye.
Mr. Grimm?
Chairman, if I may,
Mr. Grimm.
we've had a lot of discussion over this local law. We've had a lot of folks, or a lot of discussion last week when the EPA was here. And as you know, in special rules, I had a lot of questions about this and a lot of concerns. I'd just like to say, moving forward on this, and after a long conversation, I find that this is a proactive method of enforcing the standards that they have been guaranteed for the past 19 years. And we're using this primarily as a watchdog to keep them clean.
Thank you.
Mr. Harrington? Ms. Hoffman? Mr. Loveridge? Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Pavlik? Mr. Stammel? Mr. Testman?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Wysocki?
Yes.
Chairman Brunel?
Aye.
16 ayes.
Anything before the legislature, legislative privilege at all? Just want to remind everyone, a week from tonight is our cleanup meeting, December 19th. 5 o'clock, we're going to take a picture of this group for the last 4 years, and then we'll go into our special rules, special meeting, excuse me, for the cleanup of 2017. Okay, motion to adjourn?
6:49.